This is the Musketeer Coaches Show, and it's right here on Fox Sports Radio, 620 KMNS. And the Musketeer Coaches Show, Bob Rose Point after for today. We're always at one of the two locations. We're taping because there's another hockey game on a Tuesday. But this is also brought to you by Knife River, proud sponsor of the Musketeer Coaches Show with your sports show on KMNS. Luke Strand is with me. He's the head coach. And they, by the way, before we even get to it, tonight's game, 6:35, the Waterloo Blackhawks definitely come on out. It was a hard-fought battle last time and should be another one for tonight. Yeah, great hockey. Let's jump into it, though. Last week, you guys were 2-1 on the for the week. It was a victory over Des Moines, loss on the road at Sioux Falls, and then a win over Sioux Falls in overtime on Saturday. Altogether, you get 4 points. I guess never satisfied, but it would have been nice to see 5 points, like sneak that into overtime Friday.
We didn't deserve to, but we could have for sure. Friday was. I thought they played a great game at home. We played an average game at best, and then that combination. Obviously, it was 5:41 on the clock, and we had tied the game. And you're kind of like,
let's get a point.
Just one.
Yeah.
And then so the goal against there after that alpha face-off, which was kind of unexcusable. The right people are on the ice, and the older people are on the ice. And so lesson learned. I thought we had a good bounce back. I thought we played well, better probably than the score indicated on Saturday, and then found a way to win in overtime.
Found a way, and that's going to be the key on a lot of matchups, especially out of the West. Let's go all the way back to Des Moines, and that was a Tuesday. First time you saw them during the regular season. 3-0 was the score, and to be honest, it could have been more. I thought their goaltender kept them in the game. It was 1-0 forever.
Yeah, Durning was good,
except for his puck playing skills. Well, you almost had a couple there.
That was one of the ones we talk about. We want, but weird game too, though, because I thought that they are big, hard, in the right spot at the wrong time, take up ice, and then Durney made some big saves. And then at the end of the day there, we just found ourselves, we kind of stayed with it for the most part, which was the good sign of our group. And then obviously Crosby made some big saves, but just to get him a shutout was a good piece of what he wants to become.
Yeah, there's a lot of positives in the game, but the scary part was you were 1-0 going into the third period when I thought you had the upper hand.
Yeah, we had the balance of pressure. We had a lot of things going. But, yeah, you're right. You look at the scoreboard, and it's 1-0, which kind of gives you the
they score a goal. It's brand new again.
It could be anyway, right? So that was the poor part. But then, open that up, having some more offense. And at the end of the day, I think just kind of finding it more of a team game because there were some guys who were frustrated that they weren't really scoring or hadn't scored, but they had looks. So, but it just kind of manipulated the game that way.
Ian Malcolmson, he got his first goal, which was awesome because he's played well. It just hasn't got credit. And then Brock Baker's the other one who's played very, very well, but just hasn't got the.
Yeah, that secondary scoring. I mean, that was a big part of it. Obviously, you want your guys to score. This should be scoring that do score, but when you find that extra people on the score sheet. Great for Malky. I think he's played his dues per se. He's been around it, but not finished. And then same thing with Bakes because that little bugger is around scoring chances, around the net. But, he's just going to get stronger and older here, and he's just young right now.
Well, it's about getting in the right spot. I love those goals, those ugly, greasy, slimy, second opportunity type stuff that you have to work for.
I mean, you get Bakes to score a goal. Right? Everyone went to the net, crashed it. We did our part, and then he sneaks the puck out away from traffic. Actually, has the patience to pull it away from the goalie and have a good look. So it was a great goal for him. Just in the excitement for our guys for him was awesome.
Parker Ford got a goal, and I thought he had a terrific week altogether. It doesn't seem like you're going. and everybody has ups and downs, but it's going to be mostly ups with him because he just does what he does every time. It's just that work ethic.
Yeah, I mean, that's his foundation or his legs and his work, and that really rarely is the case where it's not, first. So when you find that coming together, he's had way more puck touches, way more confident puck play this year than he did a year ago as a rookie. So, but when that foundation is so basic and so good, he puts himself in a spot every time.
Puts himself in the spot is kind of the key on it. Almost, and I know he probably has more skill, but it was like a couple years ago with Phil Nyes is the guy that after a while found himself in the right spot because he had to work.
Right, and if you look at Parker, like he's never, Pass is our number one center.
Mm-hmm.
Fordo, without Pass here, is our number one center, no question. So he gets pushed around the lineup a little bit on some things, and he's done a good job. I think he's done a great job for Abs on the power play and found different ways to be around the net and be creative that way. And I think the closer you put him to the cage, the more threatening he is. And so when you, we don't want to talk about Saturday yet, but the play that he makes to Matt Miller from the goal line pass out for the second goal there is another way. He's just persistent. He got it back. He won a race. He won a battle, and then makes a play.
He's comfortable behind the net too.
Yeah, and he can go. We call them retrievals, so he can go back and get a puck from another player, pretty much at will.
There's certain guys, and they're strong on the puck. You mentioned Martin. Martin usually he goes to a corner. He's going to have that.
He's going to come out with it, and
Parker's the one, and
they got different ways. I mean, Martin's long and swoopy, and he's got a good stick, but he can be physical. And there goes Parker, gets underneath everybody's stick,
and then gets cross-checked or something.
He gets punished. That's for sure. He definitely gets punished.
I was going, what do you say out there? And he's like, no, you didn't say anything.
No,
it's just that he frustrates people.
Yeah, and he puts his nose in the wrong spot. It's good.
Let's go to Friday as we're recapping the week here on the Musketeer Coaches Show. Friday was a frustrating thing to watch, and I guess obviously one of the things I saw out of your team, which is going to happen early, is a lot of individual stuff and then mistakes because of it. But what was the biggest cause on the turnovers?
Well, you got to give Sioux Falls credit.
I mean, they were on you.
They skated. They did some things great. Because even in the beginning of Saturday, they were still doing the same things, even after viewing them in the film more. And so I think that was a big part. But at the same time, we tried to do extra, and it just wasn't necessary. We don't need extraordinary. It doesn't have to be a fantastic. It needs to be the smart play at the right time and in advance. And then what I do, to your point, you find yourself maybe not going the way you want to, and so instead of simplify, you guys try to do more, and that's when you usually compound every mistake.
All the guys out there weren't their best game, minus Cross kept you
Cross
tight.
Was dynamite. It was great to have him be big time in a big building like that. That was good.
There were deflections, and then that last goal, they had two guys right in front.
Well,
of
that's the last two goals are coverage mistakes that don't need to. They got to disappear, and they should not exist. You have centermen that watch the puck go low to high, and they don't even track a box out player on the cage. They're kind of focused on what's going up on top, and well, good for them. They put pucks in the net and got them through, and one, our guys didn't block it on the first layer, but two, we didn't have coverage underneath.
Well, that Parker Ford goal to tie it up, I thought maybe I was kind of waiting for you guys to click like you do.
I
thought that was where it was going to happen because of what they do.
Yeah, I mean, you go from a breakout to, it was
pass back.
Yeah, it was a wall. It's forward underneath. It's advancing the puck to Melky. It's getting a net drive. You got Steinmetz doing his job and really pulling defenders away from the object of what's going to happen on the attack. And
it was fast.
And completion, it was fast. It was like downhill. So I agree with you. And then, then that's where the mature team has got to take over and say, like, okay, we have had a B game on a good night tonight. Let's make sure we capture a point here.
Mm-hmm. Get it to overtime and then see what happens.
Exactly.
I mean, I was kind of waiting for it because I know you guys have it. It just wasn't that night.
It was it was frustrating. I mean, and you got to give. I thought Stauber did a good job for them in net. He wasn't reckless, which at times you can pull him around the cage. He becomes a little bit loose. But so they did that part. I thought they skated, they executed, and for a long time it was like we were watching them like get up and down the rink.
Part of it is I think they got pretty good D.
They do have good D. They have mobile D. Johnson, their Johnson is
what's he play about, like 45 minutes or what?
A big-time player.
Well, and I would too. I even mentioned it. I'm like, the guy's smooth. He can skate. He's
he just
offensive.
Skates on top of the ice. I don't even know if he gets tired.
Yeah, and the Tabakin kid for another line is pretty
good. You know what?
But that's experience on him.
There's a returning guy coming back. That's Dennis Party. Played enough last year, but Johnson's a special player for them for sure.
Well, we're talking Musketeer hockey. Game time tonight, 6:35. They take on the Waterloo Blackhawks. Come on out, cheer on the Musketeers, looking for another win. In this game now on Saturday, and it was a hard-fought effort, and everything, let's say, that are factors on not getting points were happening against you, starting with a goal at the 1959.5 mark of period number 1.
I got to go. See you later.
But you know what I mean?
No, you're right.
Because I thought you had a nice first period.
I thought it was a good push. I thought we had control. Again, that's where the maturity part's got to hang. It's got to be there. When you put returners on the ice, you expect returning results. So 0.5 seconds was disappointing. And you know what? Being shorthanded at the end of a period.
Are we looking at clock at all or no? Because sometimes I wonder if you're going, this clock's going to – because it was like 10 seconds to get off the ice.
No, I agree with you. It was maybe a little bit of that, but at the same time, there it is, just line rush against 4-5. And not really blown assignments, but they executed, and we didn't necessarily execute on our assignments.
Yeah, and on the play, when you got two guys coming, you got a goalie that has to stay put. He can't commit.
I think Crosby would have been,
It was a good shot, too, by the way.
He was thin. It went off the bar, went in. But, there's Crosby. He could be as worried about a lateral pass as he is a shooter. So
because he wasn't covered.
Well,
that happens. It's tied at 1 apiece. You're like, son of a gun. And then they score the next one. They score on the power play. I mean, that's 2 power play goals. And you guys, your penalty kill has been dynamic. But their power play has been awfully good, too.
Yeah, their power play's been good. I thought the power play goal against, we got maybe a little anxious to try to score a goal ourselves. It's definitely a coverage mistake because we're cheating for offense on a penalty kill, which the players on the ice might say that's okay because pause and break score.
If it works, great. If it doesn't,
you got a bunch.
But there's a fine line.
You have a bunch of boxes you got to check before you start to lean for offense, killing the penalty. So, so they scored that, and now it's 3-1. And I think the challenge at that point is like, not like the night before where it's scores even. You haven't played well. You're 1-1 going to the third. Everyone's like, I'll take this any day of the week on the road. Now you're down 3-1 at home, and I can't say they played awesome. I can't say we played awesome, but they definitely took advantage of their opportunities. They
did. They're up 3-1. Third period, finally 13:58. I was getting a little nervous there because you had some opportunities, and Sioux Falls is clearing pucks like they got simple, but you guys were determined. Matt Miller's goal was excellent from, again, Parker Ford, Luke Johnson involved. It was needed that goal, got the goal.
Timely, I thought it was Steiny, Fordo, and Miller together gave us energy. I thought they gave us some jam about what they did. They got pucks back. They attacked. But the goal line pass out from Fordo, actually at live speed, it looks like, he's just kind of chucking it out there. In slow motion, different angle, you're seeing Millsley offering a backhand So he's going to basically take a one-time backhand from net front, which you want that net front taken care of. And we just played with a lot of purpose there towards the end of the game. And unfortunately, there's 50 minutes before that we didn't. Not like that anyways.
The intensity.
The intensity was, the purpose, the intensity was in our favor. We were on the same plan. We had the purpose while getting pucks behind him. And then, then you do go make the play. This is a little bit of a broken play that Florida makes a great play to Miller for the goal.
You get that goal, and I think I even mentioned on the broadcast, is that next goal either sinks you or it gives you momentum. It gave you momentum. And Kerr's goal, it could have been vacated out of the zone. He kind of spun around and just put it nice and low. And
I think you get Anthony's an 0-2 youngest player in our team to make a bright, skillful play at the blue end to start with, under pressure. Maneuvered himself away from a defender. You look at the under pressure, the traffic underneath. At one point, let's call it a second before the goal, you've got Matt Miller face down on the ice being cross-checked and murdered. And then you get him to stand up and you get, Ford over to skate in front of the goalie's path at the release. And there's a goal for Anthony's first one of his career.
It's pretty awesome on that one. And so tie it up. The place is going pretty bonkers.
It was good.
Yeah. Go to overtime, and we're talking Musketeer hockey here on Fox Sports Radio. And Bobby Brink gets the goal. Pospisil making a hard move to cut to the middle. And it's one of those things. You play 3-on-3 hockey. This is the first time, which is crazy.
Yes.
And it's all about making sure you have possession, right?
Possession. We talked about line changes, and then
protect your line change.
You have to.
I don't want to bring up last year.
Yeah.
A couple of those.
No, I'm with you. But then you watch. Martin goes in the corner, pretty much man-childs the player.
He's coming out
physically. Actually moves him with his arms, and then comes out with the puck and right on the attack to the cage. And I think when Martin, long body, strong and skilled, has a chance to get a step on a D as he did there, good things are going to happen, and good for Bobby Brink. 'Cause there's a pretty offensively savvy, goal-minded, offensively driven player that goes right to the net with him. That actually the kid that Martin doesn't get everything on it that he wants to, and then it goes right to Bobby for a goal.
When Bobby had
a great goal, by the way.
Yeah, by the way, Bobby has the puck. I think let's put it at 99% chance that's in the back of the net. With you're almost so comfortable
Quick
if he
stick.
has that, and how quick it was, like pop done.
Yeah, quick stick and very just elite skill around the net. I mean,
he doesn't have to think; he just does.
Does it, and he doesn't waste any time. He's not dribbling the puck. He's not trying to make something. It's just like bang, done now. And a backhand goal tight to the net like that is impressive on a fun night. A fun night for cross-check cancer.
Yeah, let's take a break. We'll talk about that and talk about what that win can propel with confidence and hard work. The Musketeer Coaches Show is right here on Fox Sports Radio 620 KMNS. This is the Musketeer Coaches Show. It's here on Fox Sports Radio 620 KMNS. Bob Rose Point after for today, and we got hockey tonight at the Tyson, 6:35 is puck drop. By the way, this Musketeer Coaches Show is brought to you by Knife River. Luke Strand is here with me. We're taping this, obviously, because of the game tonight, but we recapped all the games from last week, and let's kind of recap a couple other things. The cross-check cancer was the event, and it was a new event. I kind of like that color purple, and everybody.
Vikings.
Is that what it is? I think I did wear Viking socks. That might be why you won too, by the way. I don't know. Or not. It's but it was the unis were very sharp. It was classy and everything about it. And I know we've had pink in the rink, but I don't know anyone who has not been affected of some sort by cancer.
Yeah. I think obviously Pink at the Rink has a special layer and really a group optimism about breast cancer. But the cross-check cancer was based on cancer wide, not specific. And You don't forget, you don't not salute, but at the same time, I think when there's a lot of folks being affected by cancer different ways, different types of cancer, and it's you look at the NFL purple, NHL purple,
Well, let's be honest. Even the pink and the rink and the pink and all that stuff, we honored all cancer survivors
we
anyway.
Did. We
I
did.
mean, it was for breast cancer, but we were doing the whole thing anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it can gain traction and not make somebody feel like, oh, it's not really about me. That's different. This is about everybody. And to your point, many of us are being affected by it, even without ourselves being affected by it. And you want to go out and salute those loved ones and take care of however we can.
Yeah, and that's where it kind of comes down to when they did the salute for such and such or a family member or whatever the case is. It's kind of funny. I guarantee none of the players could go, who do I salute?
That's crazy.
And unless you want to put two names down.
It's crazy. I mean, it was, when Jake handed out those sheets to, it's like, ooh, who do you choose?
Yeah.
Really, unfortunately.
You put down, I come up with three.
Yeah. And that's, I think, the respect and the dedication that it deserves and the recognition it deserves to try to defeat this was a well drawn cause, and hopefully something that people here can embrace the purple and not just the pink, and challenge out there to bring a pink section next year. That's what you want.
That section.
Exactly.
That would be kind of cool.
It'd be pretty amazing. And as we all know, it's we're all too affected by it, and but whatever we can do for it is worthwhile.
Yeah, and these are things that are pretty awesome. You got a little chilly too on Saturday.
It was a beautiful day, actually.
Yeah, but I guarantee the water was not of 70 pristine.
No, the 50-degree water was 50 degrees no matter how you cook it. So, yeah.
The polar plunge, and that's for Special Olympics. I mean, there's so many different awesome things that the Musketeers and a lot of the groups are hooked up with. And
yeah,
that's
we did that test drive deal at Ford to raise money, and that's kind of where it kicked off there with Keith and just kept that thing going. And yeah, you know what? It's a moment. Like we go play floor hockey with those athletes, and let me tell you, they might want to break our guy's arm, no problem. Like they're playing.
Here comes that cross check.
Yeah, they're in. So I thought it was a fun deal. Obviously, a beautiful day, and again, more people should be involved in that. That's what we do, and that's what we should be doing.
One other thing that's coming up, it's got to be coming up pretty soon, is going to be Military Night. And I'm kind of
2 weeks
excited.
away.
Is it 2 weeks away?
2 weeks away on a Saturday night, yep.
Yeah, I want to hit that one out of the park. I think it's pretty awesome.
The
sentiment.
jerseys are mega captivating, and but yeah, I mean, look at us. Like a friend of mine we had lost on Friday, and obviously, sorry, but I get pissy when we lose big time, and that's how it is.
The winning's a little more fun.
Yeah, it's way more comfortable. So, but they were on a flight where they actually had a fallen soldier, so no one got off the plane until the soldier was in the hearse, and
that just gives you chills.
The whole deal.
And that's one of the things at Sioux City, and I've seen it other places now, which is awesome, is we do a pause, one of the breaks, and it's Salute a Hero. And sometimes it's salute all the heroes there, but or they feature one.
Yeah, I mean, there again, to your, the point where cancer's affected someone, Military Night, that's crazy too. I mean, the idea that we do what we do because of what they provide for us as soldiers, it's pretty monumental pieces. And you watch you watch the father of the soldier that's the father that's seen their baby for the first time. You watch, but we don't probably give credit for it. It's the person that does that day in, day out, and doesn't expect a hero's welcome at all. Does it because
they believe in the country.
They believe in the country, and that's what they've chosen to take on as a path.
One more thing on Saturday, and related to patriotism. We got to get that singer back a few
She's
more times.
She's a rock star. Oh,
I can't think I mentioned her name after I heard it, and she blew it away.
It was before every now I'll say, who's got the anthem? And when Jake said that she was doing it again, I'm like, this is unbelievable. Even from her first note, she's crushing it.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, that's one that gives you extra pause. But yeah, we got to line her up a few more times, Jake.
Yes. Hint, hint.
Hint, hint. By the way, a tonight game, Saturday game, Omaha is going to be in town for the first time. Right before that, it's going to be Fargo on Friday. So, but anyways, that's that. Let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk about tonight's game. This is the Musketeer Coaches Show, and it's right here on Fox Sports Radio 620 KMNS. Musketeer Coaches Show right here on Fox Sports Radio 620 KMNS. Bob Rose Point after the Musketeer Coaches Show, brought to you by Knife River. Fine folks there. And Luke Strand is with me, the head coach, Waterloo Blackhawks. And obviously there's Fargo Friday, home against Omaha on Saturday. Yeah, you want to get your tickets for Saturday as well, but we want you to come out tonight. Waterloo is not that far ago, so it's on the back of the brain a little bit. Hard playing, pressure oriented. They got a solid group again.
They got depth. I think they've got a little bit of backbone with goaltending for sure. And you put Palmer and Sorensen's returning D back there that are kind of their two pillars as almost third-year guys. Yeah, I mean, they got a nice team, no doubt about it.
Got that side, and I like the Blumel, the Orville. And you know what? I was really impressed with Koopman. Where he stepped forward a little bit too.
He's grown. He's matured. You can see his game going that way, and which was good for. There's two Koopmans. One defenseman that got actually traded out of the league, and now you see Matt that's still there. Matt does a great job. He's plays hard, plays like a leader. You can see it every day.
First off is another one.
First off's a talented young player from Russia that's exciting. He's on top of the ice. He's got
what direction he's going.
He's got some giddy up to him, and he's got puck skill to match it.
Now we got these pieces. Obviously, they got a piece back in net and things like that. We look back at the last game where they got you. I thought they got you, especially with pressure on your blue liners. What do you do?
I think they got after a D for sure. They skated. They made us make plays that we didn't make, and so it's yesterday's practice was a lot of pointed towards the amount of pressure you're going to feel, small area pressure feel, but then you got to go execute. When we break that pressure, the expectations the next player has got to execute. You can't break that chain because you did your job on the first layer. Now we got to go up and down the rink with it.
Yeah, do you have to react fast, or do you have to stay calm?
Both. I mean, I think there's you want to be more of a race mentality back to a puck, but I think everyone around you has got to get to spots earlier and be providing more support than probably we did that night, and probably more timely as far as their anticipation for what's going to happen next.
Does that mean the forwards have to come back a little further?
Forwards got to definitely come back further. When you play against pressure, if you're anticipating that you're going to get it and go, that anticipation is costing you defense and posture, and that's where last game when we played them, there was some greatness about what we did, but there was some poorness, and it wasn't really our dealing; it was their doing. Again, people had to make an extraordinary instead of an ordinary happen.
Well, the other side too, and you mentioned obviously their D are so veteran. But I felt you could get at them
all day.
As long as you're in that forward zone,
right?
You're good.
You got to pay a price. Stay over the puck. No freebies. If you're going to give away a puck, I know this is broken record times, but it's such a formula for the other team. If you're not making them earn it, then what's the sense?
Mm-hmm. If they're not earning it, it's going to be easy.
Yeah, and they got too much talent not to make it feel that way.
What do you have to? What areas now with practice and stuff like that? Let's get to what has to happen tonight.
Just as a team, I think we've talked a lot about this the last 3 games. Basically, you got to get rid of our random. We have got some moments in our game where it's a random decision, and that's not a formula for success. It might make you successful in that moment, but
at one time,
and the other ones it doesn't. So that's going to be a big piece, and I think our collaboration of coming back, being very, very dedicated without the puck, and make them, if they're going to score, it's going to have to be because they did part 1, 2, and 3 correct, not just one part. We can't give away pucks, and at the end of the day, I thought we didn't shoot enough against them last time. For me, we were passive, protecting, not really driven to the cage.
Keep it simple and get at it. It's that hard-working type of.
I think, once against a team like Waterloo, who is older, but to your point, maybe vulnerable to get to the net with, you got to get to the net with it. Don't make it easy on them and stay to the outside. You got to get to the interior of the rink, and a big piece of that is players without the puck getting their butt to the net. And when I do have it, it doesn't have to be the sexiest, most wowing play in the world.
Got to go to those greasy
you
ones,
gotta get
baby.
some, and I think that's a big part of success against Waterloo.
Yeah, well, and you got to get up on them too. But that's a team that doesn't go away either.
Playing from the front is big, and they don't go away. They've had a tendency to score the late goal, so you got to be alarmed about what you're doing and what the clock is telling you what to do. But just be a really good team.
The speaking of real quick is you have been jumping out early, and that is huge. You haven't gotten necessarily that second goal.
You don't say shutout or no hitter, so let's not talk this.
In past you started well.
It's important. I think that playing from the front is, and but to your point now, when you play from the front, can you get a killer instinct and step in the throat?
It's like that Fargo game where you had a chance to go up 3-rip.
For sure. I mean, you're going to let someone hang around and actually give them momentum on the reverse side of things by just success. Like, you got to go pay the price to figure out a way. And even you look last weekend, so the game is close. It's hung around. It's like, ugh.
They don't go
stab
away.
them, like put it in their throat. But so we're closer to it. I think we're trying to get better at that part, and but it can't be an individual mentality. It's got to be a team mentality.
What do you do different tonight with your power play? Because they are very aggressive on
the pressure. You got to. I think the zone entry, the actual securing the puck right away is a huge part of it. We can't find ourselves having to chip or regain pucks because of the pressure.
Skate.
We want to be able to skate it. We want to be able to control it.
You have to start down low. Is it more low against them?
I think, because of the amount of pressure, you've got to pull their pressure aside basically to create another side. But if last game against them, we played basically 4-on-4 with an extra because they went and locked down the strong side of the rink, and it didn't matter that we had a fifth guy. He was on the opposite side of the rink, not involved. So who cares?
Cut them off,
and amen for them. They did a good job with it, and they got a goalie. So really, it's 5-on-5, and so you got to face that pressure that way. But you also have to deliver some pucks and try to really loosen that pressure as well. Penalty
kill, I thought, was good against them, and you could pressure them too.
For sure, I think there's some vulnerability that way, especially they play on a big rink at home, so things just happen quicker on our rinks here. So. We got to take advantage of that part. Really love to play a 5-on-5 game, a lot of it, because we need to control that balance of play, 5-on-5.
Well, there you go. Game time coming up, 6:35. Get out there. Saturday for home game is Omaha, right before that Friday. Gonna love another bus trip. We're counting down our Fargo.
Just to Fargo.
Yeah, well, see, that's going to be what, 1, 2, 3. 2 more games at Fargo during the regular season.
By November 2nd. That's interesting.
Wow, we'll wait till January before we go back up, by the way.
Well, it's an enjoyable ride now with the weather.
Good luck. We'll see you at the rink.
Thank you.
That is the head coach of the Sioux City Musketeers. That is Luke Strand, the Musketeer Coaches Show every Tuesday. It's right here on KMNS, iHeartRadio on your smartphone if you're out of town or what have you. And get out there tonight. Get out there Saturday. The Musketeer Coaches Show brought to you by Bob Rose Point After. Also brought to you by Knife River.